Hey there, welcome back to another episode of the Voyage Cast. We're here to explore today something that is really common, something that a lot of the Western world experiences. In fact, 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. face this every year. And globally, over 301 million people are navigating these same struggles. Even more telling, 31.9% of adults aged 13 to 18 in the U.S. have experienced or will experience anxiety. Here's the thing, not only are anxiety rates climbing, but the symptoms can feel all-encompassing. Racing thoughts, tight chest, shallow breathing, and a sense that you aren't even in your own body anymore. Based on these stats, I'm sure that some of you listening to this can resonate. This probably sounds really, unfortunately, all too familiar. Well, that's what we're talking about today. I'm your host, Eddie, and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so when anxiety takes hold, it's not just about the mind running wild. It's about your body believing it's in danger, like literally in danger. Logic alone won't always pull you out of it. That's why today we're going to talk about something every anxious mind and overwhelmed heart can really lean on. They're called grounding techniques. It's like gravity for your anxiety. Okay, so think of them as your anchor in a storm. They won't erase the waves, but they'll steady you long enough to find your way through. So we're going to explore what grounding is, how it works scientifically, and 5 techniques you can start using right now, like today, to calm your panic and reclaim your body. Now, of course, anytime you hear that there's 5 techniques of anything, you should have a little bit of a side eye. There's always more. Some work better for others. There's so many options, but maybe this is a good foundation for at least some of you. A good grounding, let's say. Grounding is more than just a trendy mental health term. It's a practice of reconnecting your mind and body to the present moment. You can call it a reset button when your anxiety is spiraling, your trauma is surfacing, or your emotions are feeling overwhelming. But grounding isn't just about pretending things are fine. Of course, we don't do that. It's not denial. It's actually just regulation. You're learning to regulate your central nervous system. When your mind speeds ahead into the what-if territory or gets stuck into what was in the past, grounding gently brings you back to what is, to the moment. It reminds you that you are in your body, you are in a safe place, you are here, you are right now, and right now is good enough or okay. Obviously, this doesn't work if you're literally being shot at or there's some kind of crisis. Okay, why it works and why it's not just a bunch of fluffy buzzwords. It's backed by hard science. Here's what happens during anxiety or panic attack. Your nervous system flips into survival mode, aka fight, flight, or even freeze. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood your system, and suddenly the rational part of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, goes completely offline. You can't think. You can't reason your way out of anything because your body fundamentally doesn't feel safe. Grounding bypasses that. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's brakes, so to speak, and brings you back online to your body, back to a baseline. Once your body feels safe, your logic can re-engage and your mind can join the conversation. Grounding isn't a magic trick. It's basically just biology. Okay, so here are the 5 techniques that we'll talk about today, knowing full well that there's plenty of others out there I'm sure you can find, but at least this is something to start with. Number 1 is the 5-4-3-2-1 sensory scan. This is a classic grounding method which uses your 5 senses to kind of anchor you here and now. Now, this is used in a lot of different arenas, not just mental health. It's used even in the military. But let me just give you exactly what these 5 things are. It's really simple. It takes time. It's difficult because you have to practice using grounding techniques like any other exercise. You have to practice it to get the best benefits out of it. So 5 of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is you're going to notice 5 things you can see. And what I like to do when I'm working with my clients on this is I want them to see and maybe describe some of those things to me. And I use that same kind of descriptive idea throughout this process. The next one is 4, which is 4 things you can touch. And so again, you're looking at textures and feels and maybe even temperatures. 3 things you can hear. Anything at all. And maybe even describe them again, whatever the sound is like. It could be pleasant, unpleasant, it could be anything at all. 2 things you can smell. This one's the same. I want you to identify it, pleasant, unpleasant, what the smell is, tell me about it. And if you're doing this yourself, you're going through, even in your mind, you're thinking through it, you're journaling it out, whatever. The last one is 1 thing you can taste. Now, this is important too because we get so much stimulation from our mouths, from the oral fixations, from hot, cold, from sour, from sweet, from whatever, savory, all those things. Why it works. You see, anxiety pulls your focus inward to fear-based thoughts. This scan forces your brain to reorient toward your external environment into a non-threatening stimuli. So if internally you have a bunch of fear-based thoughts that are spinning you out, this is grounding you into your environment that's in front of you, which gives you something more to work with. Number 2 of the 5 techniques is box breathing. This one, again, is really simple. Apparently, allegedly, in my researching, I found this a favorite technique for the Navy SEALs under pressure. Box breathing can help you reset your breath and your nervous system. Again, that's the thing. We're regulating our nervous system. So you're going to inhale for 4 seconds. You're going to hold that breath for 4 seconds. You're going to exhale slowly for 4 seconds. And you're going to hold for 4 seconds. And then you're going to repeat this cycle for at least 4 cycles. So why it works is it slows your breathing and it signals to your body to deactivate its panic response. Okay, so number 3, touch plus temperature shift. Grab something cold. Seriously, grab an ice cube, a chilled bottle of water, or even splash cold water on your face. If you're not keen on cold, that's fine. You can try something warm, a cup of tea, or wrapping your body in a blanket or something like that. Why this works. You see, a sudden temperature change has a grounding effect, rattling your senses out of panic and pulling you firmly into the present. Cold in particular has a really unique impact on your nervous system. You see, when your skin is exposed to cold, something fascinating happens in your body. Your vagal nervous system, which plays a crucial role in regulating your heart rate and stress responses, well, it's activated. And this triggers what's called the, quote, diving reflex, a natural mechanism that slows your heart rate and conserves oxygen. It's as though your body's getting kind of an automatic memo to calm down. Cold exposure also forces your focus outward, away from the storm of looping thoughts. It demands attention, offers a tangible physical anchor in the moment of emotional overwhelm. Warmth has its benefits too, but there is a certain sharpness to cold that cuts straight through the fog, like a slap from nature to remind you, hey, you're here, you're okay, keep breathing. Sometimes the simplest things can bring you back to yourself. A cube of ice or a splash of frigid water might feel small, but for your nervous system, it's a powerful button to shift gears from chaos to clarity. Number 4, a grounding object or a texture. This is an easy one. You can carry a small object with texture in your pocket or bag, like a smooth stone, a bracelet, a stress ball, whatever. When you feel like you're spiraling, hold it and focus on how it feels. Describe it to yourself in detail. Why this works, just like everything else, focusing on tactile sensations counters the racing thoughts and gently pulls you back to the present moment. It gets your attention to the here and now. Number 5, say where you are. This, again, sounds simple and maybe overly simple, but it might actually be useful. Say it out loud. I'm in my living room. Currently for me, I'm in my office, and it's Tuesday. And the clock says, what time is it? 2:47. My name is Eddie, and I'm in a relatively safe place as far as I know. and I'm here. And that seems to be good enough for me. Why it works? Well, you're naming your current reality, which can override intrusive thoughts by anchoring you to the facts around you. It kind of goes into, this really does play on number one, which is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like naming 5 things you can see. Okay, so it's a very similar concept, but if you just need the one thing, just orient yourself to the here, to the now, and to yourself. When to use grounding. Grounding isn't just for full-blown panic attacks. Use it whenever your mind feels cluttered or chaotic, you feel disconnected from your body, flashbacks or intrusive memories are surfacing, or you feel numb or emotionally shut off. Think of it like mental hygiene. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to pull yourself out of the storm before it gets worse. What grounding cannot do, and why that's okay. Grounding won't solve your problems. It won't heal your traumas. It won't fix your relationships overnight, or maybe at all. What it does is it creates space to think clearly, space to respond thoughtfully, space to anchor yourself in truth despite the fear screaming otherwise. It's the first step, not the whole path, okay? And sometimes that first step is just remembering, I'm okay. I'm right here. I'm right now. I'm safe. All right, so my final thoughts. If this episode did give you something to hold on to, try one of these techniques. Try it this week. Try it right now. Turn this off. Stop listening to me. Do the technique if you're freaking out right now. And start paying attention to what shifts in your body, in your mind, in your thoughts. Maybe even your temperature shifts. Maybe you notice maybe you're really hot and you're starting to sweat and you start cooling off. Grounding is a practice and it takes time. The more you use it, the stronger you get at doing this. If anxiety has been steering you for too long, it's time to take the wheel back. Whether through therapy, community, or just showing up for yourself through using some of these techniques or doing your own homework, listening to other podcasts, listening to YouTube videos, there is always help. You do not have to do this alone. In fact, that's why we have this podcast, is so that you don't have to do these things alone. All right, well, thanks again for tuning into another episode of the Voyage Cast. If this episode helped you, share it with a friend, share it with a loved one, share it with a family member, share it with people you hate. And don't forget to subscribe and give that 5-star rating, because the algorithm overlords need it to share this information with everybody else, because this information obviously will solve all of your problems. So make sure everybody gets it. All right, until next time, stay steady, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward.